Okay, guys, for those of you who missed the lesson today, I'm just going to talk you through how to answer the 16 marker for paper 2 in the Russia unit. Okay. As we know, we've gone through question A and B. Question B is we've seen as using sources. You will need to use those sources again for this question. Okay, but the focus on this is you evaluating a historical claim. So as well as the two sources, you are given an extract from a historian. You have to use the extract, the two sources, and your own knowledge to state whether you either support what the historian's views are or whether you feel you are against what the historian's views are. So again, it's a support and challenge question. You must explicitly use the sources. You must be copying and pasting sections out of all the sources. If you don't, you will not get above 8 marks. Okay, I can't reiterate that enough. You must make sure that you're using the sources when you answer this question. In the end, you'll be asked to give a judgment. Okay, how far do you agree with the historian's claim? In that judgment, you must sort of weigh the evidence up and come to some form of agreement or disagreement. So again, you can weigh that up based on the information and the evidence that you've been provided. Structurally, let's just have a quick look at it. It's very similar to question B. Okay, we've got a paragraph that starts on about support. Okay, so we'll talk more specifically about how this looks later on, but you're focusing here on support. All right, and that's what evidence is there that supports the historian's claim. That's both from the sources that you have been given in the paper and your own knowledge. Okay, this is an important part. You need to use your own information, your own contextual knowledge here. Okay, so for each in this paragraph, I'm expecting you to probably give maybe 3 or 4 different points of support. Okay, some using the source, some using your own knowledge. We then do exactly the same for challenge. Okay, we're stating about how we feel that the sources might disagree with what the historian says, and what, from your own knowledge that you understand, why do you disagree with the historian? Okay, so again, we're giving an overview of those various points in this paragraph. So we finally finish again with a final judgment, but that is backed up with justification and reasoning of support. You either support him or you don't support him, or you support him a little bit. You decide, but there needs to be a weighting in terms of how much you would agree with the historian from the extract that you have been given. So, what must I do in order to do well and get to 16 marks in this question? Okay, well, you must demonstrate that you've used all the sources. Okay, you must also demonstrate that you've used your own knowledge and that you can offer interpretation of how far you agree or disagree with the historian's view. You must start, when you look at this, is when you read the extract first, is to understand what the historian's views are. Okay, so in that opening support section, we must be able to outline, well, what are the historian's views in relation to the question? Okay, so that's an important part, so we actually understand what his views are in the first place. This is not a place where you are just going to regurgitate everything you know about this topic. Okay? As with everything, you must put this in the context of the question. All right? Just because you might see something on the October Revolution doesn't mean this is a place where you're going to write everything you know about the October Revolution. It must be in the context of the question and must be linking it back to the overarching, the historian's views and perspectives. So let's have a look at this question, and this is the one we're going to have a go at. Extract B suggests that the Kornilov revolt was the most important reason for the rapid increase in support for the Bolsheviks. How far do you agree with this interpretation? Okay, so to start with, the key thing is we need to understand, what is the question asking us? Okay, so it's asking us, well, in fact, I'm going to let you guys answer that one in a second, okay, and do a task around it. All right, so we're looking, what is the question asking here? It then gives us an extract, as with below, okay, and that is a historian's views. So in our opening support paragraph, we need to be quoting from this source, okay? So we need to make sure that we open, that we can explain the historian's view is this, okay? We can see this from what he states in extract B, and we actually state that part. Now, I'm not going to read through the extracts now because you will have a chance to go through that in the task that we'll do in a minute. You will then have two sources. Now, you will already have used these sources to answer question B in this paper. So you will be familiar with these already. So they won't be new to you. Okay. So again, we have two now different sources. One is obviously from a speech from General Kornilov himself, and one is from a speech from Lenin. Okay, so we've got two very different characters here, so they're likely to have very different opinions and feelings on the Kornilov revolt, and in particular, if we look at it in the context of the question. Okay, so those are the three pieces of information that you'll be given when you answer this question. You must use all three. You must explicitly quote from all three. Okay, it's really important that you remember that within the whole of your answer. You don't need to use all three in the support section and all three in the challenge section, but you must have used all three in the 16-mark question somewhere. Okay, so what you guys are going to have a look at now, if you click on the section where it says tasks, okay, that will then download a task sheet for you to look at. And the first thing I want you to do is, in groups, you're going to interpretate the question. What is the question actually asking? Highlight the key words so we know exactly what you need to do. Okay, as we always say when you go into an exam, take highlighters with you. Highlight the things that you need. We're then going to get you to interpretate the sources. Okay, first off, source G. Does this source support or does it challenge the statement? Source I, does it support and challenge the statement? And for both of those, we need to know how. I want you to make sure that you can copy and paste explicit examples out of those sources to show how they support and challenge. Okay, and then extract B, okay, this is really your starting point, is how does this extract support the statement? Again, copy and paste from this source. We've now used the sources. We want you now to use your own knowledge. Okay, what other points could we add into this that aren't in these sources? What other contextual knowledges, other events are we aware of that you can draw on here? Okay, so you're going to bring those in now, and you're going to look at in areas of your own knowledge. What other things are there that would support the statement in the question, and what other things are there that would challenge the statement? Okay, so you're going to have a go at doing those 3 tasks. Once you've completed that, you're actually going to now answer the question in full. Okay, and I've laid this out in very sort of succinct paragraphs with what you need to do. Follow these step-by-step guidelines in terms of what you need to write and how you need to write this. Okay, you should be using the extract B that you've been given pretty much only, I would say, in the support paragraph. Use then extract or sources G and I in either or paragraphs. Okay, make sure that we're including our own knowledge and our own evidence as well. And then you must make sure we finish with that personal judgment. Okay, so that final answer will be written in your worksheets also. If you want to have a look at the mark scheme, this gives you a good sort of overview in terms of what we're aiming for. So we look at a level 4. It says answer provides an explained evaluation reviewing alternative views in coming to a sustained judgment. Okay, so we've got to have in there the ideas of support, the ideas of challenge, and the judgment. Precise analysis of provided materials is shown, indicating the differences. So you've explained the differences, okay? And deploying this material to support the evaluation. Again, so when we're weighing things up in the judgment, we are drawing on things what we've talked about in the main body of the paragraphs. Relevant contextual knowledge is precisely selected and used directly to support the evaluation. This is your own knowledge. Okay, I want to see key contextual knowledge, names, dates, places, that sort of thing included in here. And again, an overall judgment is justified and the line of reason is coherent, sustained, and logically structured. Okay, so again, you need to support. Why do you have the belief you either support the historian or you are against the historian? Okay, guys, have a go. It's over to you now.